however long,
Avalon.
we are now live. I assume I've just covered it all up so I can't see it anymore. Good day, all. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Two Guys Talk Tech, because that's the name of the show.
For YouTube stats, the web show.
Yes.
Episode 87, The Phantom Menace.
This time with new mug. Right, I'm going to put this out there at the start. This mug showed up today. I was not expecting this mug. It showed up today. Could the person responsible for this please make themselves known when it...
To security, so they may be evicted.
Yes. Yeah. At some point, if they arrive in the chats, whoever it is, make themselves known. I want to know who's responsible for this. So... At any rate, this is my life now. It's a good mug. I don't know. Part of me wants to be it's one of the. It's an ungift. You kind of want to be unhappy about it, but you're just like, you know what? Someone cared enough about me to make this mug, so there we go. That's what we're doing now. That pig. Oof. Yeah. Was it in exclusive chat where all of those pics got posted?
I think it was just
pictures. General? All pics, yeah. At the end of the podcast last week, those pictures got posted, and I was just like, ha ha ha, that's awful, and I'm leaving this conversation immediately. And then today that mug showed up, and I'm just like, oh, we're not seeing the end of that, are we? We're not seeing the end of that.
I do intentionally go through and edit the thumbnails for the web show. Make sure it's all. I go through and edit in YouTube Studio the thumbnail for the web show.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I just thought that they were automatic and just happened, but then it tends to pick out good shots, I suppose. Yeah.
And I intentionally select ones where we're laughing.
Oh, okay. Oh, fair enough. Yeah, yeah. Mike White, you like the Pac-Man, the E-Pac-Man ghosts behind me? Yeah. That's the washing cloth and stuff like that. I've got a countertop behind me now. I've just set that up this afternoon. So, countertop behind me. So yeah. So the idea is as I get it set up in future videos now, the main thing to set up there is probably about there-ish. This week I built a shop show computer. Or rather testing review rig. I don't know what to call it yet, a review rig. And so that's in a nice case and it's got a nice motherboard, it's got a sweet CPU in it, and everything. So that's just going to sit in the background, and hopefully it's going to be part of the scenery now. And when I want to do reviews and stuff, I'll have a dedicated computer for testing stuff in, instead of just using whatever I can find lying around, which will be nice. And yes, that's an iMac behind. It's a really old iMac that it's one of those annoying jobs where you're just like, this isn't really worth doing, but the customer is like, can you just make it work? It's for my grandpa kind of thing. And I'm like, sure, okay. So that's it. Call it what it is, your new toy. Well, if it were my new, it's not my new toy per se, because it will always be my PC at home. Like the 3070 that I've acquired now, thank you very much, Caradog, is in my PC at home. So yeah, that much being said, this computer does have a better motherboard and a better CPU by a long shot than my PC at home. It's a Asus X570F Strix and a 5800X versus my home PC, which is a 3800X and a X470 Tai Chi. Mugs. Hello, Spud Nugget. This wasn't you, was it? I'm checking. I want to know who this... Who was it? Who was it?
I just realised I have like £1,100 worth of CPUs just sat on the shelf next to my desk at work.
So just two. A 5950X and something else.
No, it's actually two 5800s and a 5600, but still.
Yeah. That's the case with me. I've got to sell my 5950X, man, because the point of like the reason why I didn't cancel the pre-order for that, because the 5950X was purchased for a customer build, but it wasn't going to show up in time, so we put a 3950X in there instead. So yeah, but I didn't cancel the 5950X because I was like, I'll get it, then I will immediately sell it, and selling it will then pay for all the other bits that I'm putting in this computer. So you want to buy whoever it was their own mug. I tell you what,
It was Cyan Postal.
Was it?
Yes.
Do you know that, or are you guessing?
Yes. No, I know that. Because read what I said in chat.
Oh, I missed it. Okay, hang on a sec. Okay, maybe. Let's see. There it is, me and Postal. Oh, yes, there you go. Hello, Si. Sorry, imagine if I was reading chat while streaming. I'm actually taking apart a laptop while streaming because this laptop needs to be taken apart again because it's a wretched HP and everything in it breaks. But I'm not going to get onto a rant about that though, because I got scolded in the YouTube comments today. Someone commented on one of my videos and was just like, you know, you need to stop dissing other people's hardware, etc., etc. You know, sometimes not everyone can afford all the good stuff and things like that. And this was on a video where basically I expressed my opinions about ASRock, about how their motherboards are very hit and miss, and they've got good ones and they've got bad ones and stuff like that. And this dude was basically trying to argue that I shouldn't make comments on whether I think something is bad or not. And I'm like, I didn't respond to it because I was like, the only response I can give to this would be a rant or a wall of text. And if I can't reply in like 4 or 5 lines, I'm not going to bother, because
surely though the very short response to that is, that's the point of me giving my opinion on it, so people who don't have the money to buy one of all of them can know which one to spend their limited resources on.
I guess, yeah. But it's just like, imagine that. It's just like,
that's the point of reviews.
Yeah. And like, I think the problem is that like, I don't feel like, I get this a lot where people think that I'm overly harsh and critical on other people's stuff. You know, when I'm looking at someone else's computer and I'm just like, oh, ideally this fan should be over here and this cabling isn't quite great and stuff like that, and I'm commenting on it, people think that I'm just deliberately trying to rip to shreds someone else's computer build. And I'm like, no, I'm just pointing out ways in which they could make it better. That's helpful, isn't it? Isn't that, you know, like, oh, my camera's not quite straight. Isn't that like useful to actually help someone improve by pointing out a way in which something could be better? And just, yeah, I don't know, man. You can't slam HP when there's Dell in the world. You have a HP profile picture, so I'm frightened to engage this conversation. So yes.
At this point. So anyway, how's the weather today?
Considering I'm taking apart a HP laptop and it's got a lot of stuff in it that's really bad, are you sure you want to continue that conversation? You know, you are going to lose this fight.
I saw.
That much being said, Dell have made some proper tat in their time as well. Let's not, you know, in all fairness, I think
it's not 2004 Sony Vaio.
Oh yeah, Sony Vaios. See, you know, Sony are one of the most interesting brands of laptop, I think. And that doesn't necessarily mean good. It just means interesting. Like, you can say what you like about Sony laptops, but you've never seen anything quite like a Sony laptop. Like the interesting ones anyway. I don't mean they're really boring consumer grade ones, but I mean like the really expensive ones that were like had carbon fiber shells and stuff like that. You know, like Sony made some ultra thin and lights back in the mid noughties that were like less than a kilogram.
Yeah.
Like 11-inch, less than a kilogram with a respectable CPU in it. You know, not a netbook, an actual, you know, they were making ultrabooks before ultrabook was a thing, you know.
They absolutely did have a couple of things that were
garbage.
No, I was going to say they did have a couple of things that were kind of defining of a future genre kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like those ridiculously thin and lights. Kind of as a starting point for that design language and things like that. There was a couple of things that was really good, but I just feel like their consistency was never there, so you could never actually recommend them.
Yeah. That's just it. And also
So you
just
could never
a
just
lot of...
blanket go, oh yeah, all of the Vio 15.2 range are good enough. You're not going to have at least a lemon. Go buy one of them, Mr. or Mrs. Customer, sort of thing.
Just adjusting the balance because I forgot to fix that.
Where, personally, in my opinion, you can basically say to someone, go buy a Dell Inspiron and you'll be all right.
Yeah. Dell have made some...
If you've got more money, go buy an XPS and you'll be very happy.
Dell have made some trash. However, certainly with Dell, as long as you spend a certain amount of money, you're more or less, you know, if you say to someone, go and buy a Dell, but don't buy the cheapest one they make, that's more or less a sure thing. Because as I say, Dell always seem to have a super, super cheap, which is just bad. Because they always want that one laptop just so they can say, we have laptops starting from £250. And it's a case of, don't buy the £250 one. It'll be bad, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That kind of applies to literally every laptop at that price point.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Lee, you say that about HP, but the problem is that there are plenty of HPs. This is a HP Core i3. It's got garbage hinges. It's got garbage Wi-Fi in it. It's got a DC jack that breaks all the time. And it's just like, this is a laptop that probably cost about £400 or so. And it's got a single Wi-Fi antenna in it. You wouldn't get that in a Dell. The cheap Dell will have a Celeron CPU in it, which makes it cheap and nasty, but it won't have a single Wi-Fi antenna in it. That's my beef with HP. That's my problem with HP. And don't get me wrong, you can buy good HPs, but HP have got a lot of mid-range consumer laptops that just have awful stuff in them. Yeah, well, if you're talking business class, that's a completely different animal. So yeah, like the HP EliteBooks stuff. Yeah, HP EliteBooks. Yeah, absolutely, great laptops.
Or the whatever the one up from that is. Oh, I've completely forgotten what the line's called, but those two.
HP have a ProBook, don't they? Or I thought the ProBook was the replacement for the EliteBook.
I can't remember. They've got two, both, which are like they're super top end ones.
Yeah.
They are good.
I never see them.
A lot of money for what they are, but good.
Yeah, consumers don't have them. I'm just scrolling back a little bit because I just didn't read the chat for a while. So, Dell laptop audio stutter. Oh yeah, any laptop brand, the first thing you should do is take it out the box, format it. You know, I think there's one universal constant is that any OEM software is trash. Take your laptop out of the box and format it and do a clean install of vanilla Windows. So yeah.
Although that got dramatically less bad from a lot of brands on Windows 10.
Yeah, and Dell I feel like Dell are the lesser of the evils with that. Lenovo is the worst. Lenovo by a long shot is the worst because while a lot of the preloaded software is more of just an annoyance on most laptops, on Lenovo, they have a very high rate where the pre-installed software actually causes problems. And there's a lot of people
Superfish anyone?
Sorry?
Superfish anyone? Lenovo Superfish. They had their own root SSL cert.
Oh, is that what it was called? Yeah.
So
yeah. For me, a lot of the time it was just with network management stuff. I had a lot of friends who were having issues with Wi-Fi on Lenovo laptops, and I said, and I literally just said to them, go to Control Panel or Settings, go to the app list, and uninstall anything with Lenovo in the name. If it's got Lenovo in the name, uninstall it. And they came back an hour later saying it's fixed. So it's just like, yeah, uninstall all that bollocks. Also, from earlier on Firephone, Medion is the way to go. No.
I haven't
No.
seen stuff,
No.
but I get the feeling that based off of where it's sold, it will actually be very good for the money. Because it's like, because it's, Aldi special brand.
Yeah, I mean, they were really cheap, I'll give them that. And also, they were from the era, Median's still in business, I don't know. But certainly in their era, they were cheap laptops. They were, in a way, they reminded me a lot of Acer, or of old Acer, where it was a case of it was cheap, it had modest specs, just the build quality was horrendous. So the paint rubbed off and stuff like that, which was what Acer were like for a very long time. They were well priced and they had modest spec, but yeah, the paint rubbed off all the keys and all the palm rests and things like that, which is just not an issue you saw on other laptops. And Medion seemed to be the same. But on the other hand, they were easy to take apart and easy to fix, and sometimes that's kind of useful. So, also, Kimbo-Weenie, what is that mug? This is my new mug. You can thank Sai and Postal for this. They have claimed responsibility for the mug. So
it's fine. I have their address.
I don't know how to get back at them for that. I don't know if we need to, but yeah. At any rate, yeah, that's a thing that exists now. Let's see. Also, I'm going to roll back because I missed a super chat from Chris Kingan with the $10. What's up, my dude? That just happened. Oh, yeah, this is happening. Medion or Lenovo. Are they now? Is that true? Medion. Wiki. Who owns Medion these days? Are they owned by Lenovo? They are. Medion AG is a German consumer electronics company and a subsidiary of Chinese multinational Lenovo. Huh. How about that? I just kind of assumed that they were just one of those brands that just fell by the wayside, like a brand that I can't think of. There we go. Welcome to Two Guys Talk Tech, where we know everything about tech. Like Gateway. There you go. Gateway. Let's go with Gateway.
There's coffee in that nebula.
Yeah.
Still
better than Clevo stuff. Clevo laptops are okay. Clevo laptops are all right because everyone out there has secretly used a Clevo and not realized it. Like a shocking number of laptops out there are rebadged Clevos. My beef with Clevo is that they make too many laptops, and because they make too many makes and models, and they go under so many brands and rebadges, it's impossible to find parts for them because you don't know what you've got.
You're not specifically supposed to.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
They're an ODM. They're an ODM.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be rebranded and sold by someone else, and whomever is selling it is supposed to provide support.
Yeah.
Because that's what you get for rebadging something and profiting.
Yeah. They don't, though, and that's the annoying thing.
Yeah. And that's not Clevo's problem, though.
Yes. Okay, yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah.
Because in a sense, that's kind of the same as saying, to make an analogy I'm well aware of, it's HTC's problem that O2 never updated the XDA1 for Windows 6.5. No, it was an O2 phone. It just got made by HTC. It's not their problem.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's see. Got a HP. I got a cheap HP laptop with Ryzen 3000 series DVD drive. Really difficult these days to get a laptop with a DVD drive. Yeah. There's still plenty out there.
Be concerned.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't see it as an issue these days, to be honest, because I think the number of people who actually need DVD drives are so few and far between. And if you do need a DVD drive, you heckin walk off screen to a nearby box where your DVD drive should be, but actually isn't, and then look like a fool because you come back empty-handed without a DVD drive.
But yeah,
oh, there it is.
You just grab a USB DVD drive for like
Yeah.
£10.
Yeah.
Or
USB
if you're
DVD drive from Amazon, 20 quid, problem solved. Like, if you use your DVD drive all the time, I can completely see why you'd want one built in. But yeah, if you're one of those people where you just need it occasionally, it's just like, let's get a USB one, man. She'll be right.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
So yeah.
I can't really see why you would pick a device specifically for that when obviously a USB one is going to allow you to choose a better laptop potentially.
Yeah. It depends on if it's used as well. One thing that still annoys me about the modern stuff, and I think Caradog, you were looking at a laptop I had him open the other day, and you pointed this out as well. How in modern laptops they've freed up this space by removing the DVD drive and removing the hard drive now and going just M2 only. And you're like, awesome! That means they can fill all of that space with more battery. No, of course they don't. There's just empty space there now. So it's kind of a bummer, really, that, you know, with all of this stuff, you'd be like, that's awesome. You know, yeah, there's no DVD drive, but we've now got heckin' 80 watt hour batteries in everything. But no, there is not. And that makes me sad. So, yeah.
It's kind of that balance in a sense of also kind of a thing if you don't really want the device going that much smaller. Because then it's like, oh yes, now I have a keyboard that's verging on unusable for people with normal size hands.
14-inch. That's the magic size. 14-inch. You can go down to 13 if you've got a really slick, small framed laptop like an XPS 13 where you've got no bezels and stuff like that. But for the average person, 14-inch is the magic number. And I'm actually quite happy to see that 14-inch laptops are making a comeback now. And HP, of all people, are actually going in on the 14-inch scene. Some of HP's newer chassis, they've still got some sketchy bits. Again, there's still too many of them with single Wi-Fi antennas. And I know I harp on about HP and one Wi-Fi antenna, but no, seriously, it's terrible. The Wi-Fi on them is awful. And considering everyone uses Wi-Fi, that's unforgivable. That's a critical failure of the design, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah, there we go. Look, here's the single Wi-Fi antenna, because screw you.
Yeah.
However, at any rate, the point is, though, what was I talking about? Yeah, HP have been making some really nice looking 14-inch laptops, and yeah, 14 inches a magic size. So I need to scroll back because I missed some super chats from.
I mean, I maintain that 17 inches is the correct size for a laptop.
Yes, you're wrong, but sure. You are entitled to your opinion, no matter how wrong it is. So yes, if you need a 17-inch laptop, then you just shush. Just shush.
So what I have done, something that I'll give a tasty little, preview to. I have a second screen that you can basically use with laptops now. Because it's just USB bus, it's USB-C.
Oh, nice. Is that a pre-purchase thing, or have you built something up?
No, it's something I bought and it arrived yesterday.
Okay. Is it something? How big is it?
Like, I think it's 15.6.
Yeah, because I think I would be interested to see how is it something you can pick up and show on camera?
No, because it's in the office.
Oh, okay. Oh, bummer. Yeah, because I was going to say I like the idea
That's
of
what I
those.
said. It's a little preview for things that will come later. Because I'm sure I will show it and you can do an unboxing.
Yeah, that'd be rad. We'll have a look at it. Because I like having small portable screens is an idea that a lot of people like. So yeah, I'm totally on board for seeing what that looks like.
And I like I also like the fact that, because obviously it does display over USB-C. It
Yes.
means it can be a big screen for your phone.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's an interesting idea. Yeah.
So
Like if
using
nothing else, just if you just want to watch movies or something like that.
Yeah, I was running Samsung Dex off of my phone on it on Friday, and that gives you a desktop browser, effectively a desktop edition of Word and Excel.
That's cool. Yeah. Is it sort of usable? Is it a good user experience? Because last I heard, it was a bit of a novelty.
I haven't used it for anything serious, but it
Yeah.
seemed fine because what it was effectively tablet-sized ish versions of the apps that were installed on your phone.
Okay. Yeah.
So it'll kind of depend on how good the app is at being expanded out
Yeah.
as well. But certainly for like Excel for Word, it was pretty good.
Hmm. Yeah, that sounds cool. I mean, it would be nice to see viable alternatives from phones to the iPad Pro, because I like the iPad Pro in concept. I just don't like the price tag of it, because the iPad Pro, by the time you've bought it and any kind of accessories that you'd want for it, you've basically spent the same amount of that a decent laptop would cost. And granted, you've also got something that is also a tablet, so it depends on obviously what you actually need as to whether that's to how you feel about that. But yeah, it's an interesting point.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's also just the fact though that for what it is, it's also effectively a very inexpensive drawing tablet,
yeah,
given the quality of the support from the Apple Pencil and
I think that's the main
stuff
use of it.
like that.
Yeah, because
Using it as a drawing tablet, like a super expensive, oh, what are they called?
Cintiq.
Cintiq, like the
Yeah,
super expensive Cintiqs, but it's not got 32 gigs of storage in it like a Cintiq does.
yeah.
It's got a terabyte of storage in it, plus it has decent cloud sync.
They
It's
do
like,
make for a good setup. I think
yeah,
the only thing that bothers me is because I have seen artists that have gone all in on that scene where because Cintiq make um, effectively tablet PCs as well. You know, that
yeah.
for a while, like the
But you did a
Cintiq.
repair on your channel
That's
for
right.
them.
The Cintiq Companion is one such example where it is a Windows tablet with a Cintiq digitizer on the front end. But the problem with them is they're very expensive, and when you look at the amount of things that they can do, the price makes sense. You've got a modestly spec'd computer, you've got a decent graphics tablet, it's got a half decent screen on it, and you can multi-role and you can connect up external screens, and it can be. And for people who are just like, should I buy a laptop or should I buy one of these? It makes a lot of sense. But the problem is that the issue is repairability and when it gets old and tired. I know an artist who bought one of Cintiq's high-end things for about it was about $1,300 at the time. So decent amount of money on that. However, that was like 2 or 3 years ago, and because it's effectively a glorified mobile tablet that's 2 or 3 years old, it's getting on a bit, and £1,300 and a working life of like maybe 3 years or so before it's starting to feel a bit long in the tooth is a bit sort of, that's not been the greatest investment in the world.
Yeah.
And I feel like if it had been a laptop, they probably could have slapped some extra memory in it or put a new SSD in it to speed it up or something like that.
It will be a case of kind of getting the drawing pad on its own as just like a USB device or something like that. That will obviously be the better purchase, arguably for length of service.
Yeah.
Just because like a USB drawing tablet will work with basically anything.
That's right. But then I
Now,
suppose it's also a factor of how badly you need the portability as well. And this comes down into the desktop versus laptop argument, whereas, some people portability is no issue at all. They don't need it to be portable. They just need it to sit on a desk So in which case, no, it doesn't make sense. You just get a desktop instead. Whereas for some people, they're like, no, it needs to be portable. I'm going to buy a laptop or one of these. It's like, well, to that point, it's probably not going to make much difference, I guess. So, yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. Ultimately, again, it is really just going to come down to your personal use case. But
Absolutely. But actually making sure you've evaluated your use case.
yes, agreed.
So there's nothing worse than seeing people buy stuff where you're like, you've not looked at what you're actually using this for.
Yeah, they've looked at something and been like, that looks cool.
By price, gone most expensive, therefore it must be the best for my situation.
Yeah.
And that's not how it works.
Pretty much that, yeah, agreed.
I kind of feel like that's how Intel still sells servers. Ooh.
Maybe, who knows?
Anyway, moving on. What?
Yeah. Let's see. Well, rolling back a bit, because I
just thought someone said, can they buy a 3070 from you? This is like, funnily enough,
yeah,
for the small price of 9,000 euros, you too.
Well, I don't know. I mean, you know better than I, Caradog, if there's going to be a 3070 available shortly and for what price. But I'll leave that to you. Meanwhile, just rolling back a bit, we had a couple of super chats from Michael Martin with £3. Thank you very much, Michael. How are you doing? Graham, I buy Novatech barebone systems with no OS. Do they still make those? Novatech have been around for a long time. And yeah, buying it from them no OS. I wonder how much you actually save doing that these days, but it seems like a good idea, especially for a lot of early builders where you could buy a barebone system that's got, you know, motherboard and CPU and maybe motherboard and CPU pre-fitted or something like that, fit your own RAM drives, install your own Windows license or Linux on it. And yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, I always, if I'm buying a laptop or something, and it has an option to buy it without an OS, I'll buy it without an OS.
How much money do you typically save doing that?
£120.
Really? Oh yeah, so you can.
Most places it's £120.
Yeah.
And usually I'll take out the storage drive as well, if that's an option.
Yeah.
Because they'll be charging you, in some places I've seen, they're charging like £400 for a 256 gig SSD. So you take out the SSD, suddenly the price drops by £400. You're like, I'll buy the same SSD from your store yourself, scan, for £100.
It's weird it's weird how it works sometimes, how they price structure things, and it's just like, really, what are you thinking, man? That's crazy. So yeah, that sounds like a great way to save some money especially if you're buying it for something else and you're going to prep it. Because like if you're buying something, sorry, I've dropped a screw, which is why I've just suddenly disappeared for a bit.
Oh no, my marbles.
If you're buying something for retail in a shop, or if you're buying it for someone else, if you're buying to directly resell, that might not be the best solution. But if you're buying for a friend or for yourself, that's a great solution there. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I've done it where I was to resell as well, because obviously I just bought a Windows license and an SSD and still ended up £300 better off.
Yeah.
I was like, your pricing makes 0 sense, but for the 45 seconds it will take for me to slide this SSD in this machine, I'm going to take the £300 and I'll just charge the people the price that's on your website and go, here it is at cost price.
Yeah.
The cost price.
Yeah, I have allegedly made no profit. I'm passing the savings on to you. However, I mysteriously did somehow profit on this. That's a good way to make money. That's the thing. I could legitimately investigate doing that myself in the future, because that's a great way to be able to sell stuff at a competitive price in a storefront while still actually making money. And I shoulder the warranty on stuff anyway. If I sell someone a Dell laptop, I will shoulder the warranty for it, in a sense of if they have a problem, they bring the laptop back to me and it will be my problem to then go through Dell with it. So I'd have no issue doing that, because as long as I'm providing a warranty on it, the customer can bring it back to me, then no problem. Yeah,
absolutely.
that is a very good idea. I'll have to look into that. Novatech
Yeah,
expected you to wait 4 months for a monitor. Good grief. That was that was coming from China. 4 months. I don't know what happened to there. I'd have bought a different monitor. Also, while we're still catching up on chat, we also had a £5 super chat from Ben Laird as well. Ben, how do you say your name? Because you're a regular contributor, and I do not know how to say your name, and I keep butchering your name, and I'm sorry. So, tell me the secret of how to pronounce your name. In the meantime, you are Ben. Thank you very much for the £5, my dude. Let's see. I've not been keeping up with chat, and this is what I get for thinking I'll just quickly fix this laptop while I'm on stream as well, because I want this thing done and out the way. This was
at the same time, we can just prattle on about stuff, and it doesn't particularly matter. Chat can take care of itself.
That's true. I mean, that was kind of the original point of this podcast anyway, wasn't it? It's not supposed to be particularly structured.
Also, isn't that the point of, super chats?
Yeah, I guess.
Stand out.
I guess.
Then you're incentivized by YouTube to structure your content in a fashion that then makes people feel this burning desire to spend money to then highlight their message. See?
Yeah, that is
That's
true.
the point. Apparently, I mean, that's not what I'm suggesting people should do. However,
just saying, if you do super chat, it is more or less guaranteed that I will read it out.
Precisely.
Yes. Yeah, fair enough. Whatever's.
Yes, I feel this leads into a segue of something where you can just talk about the conversation we're having about an editing challenge.
What about the camera setups?
No, you were saying about you might chuck out raw footage for a video
right, yeah.
and go to the community at large.
Maybe. I don't know how serious I am about that.
I think it's something that you should do. Because...
Well, just to add context to this, before we carry on discussing this, just to add context, obviously my videos are, how should we say it, underproduced.
They are raw and authentic. They carry a true natural flavoring.
Some people like that, okay? But yeah, nice mug. Yes, this is the mug. Cy and Postal are responsible for this. Anyway, yes, there was an idea that I would perhaps just to test the water, just make available the source footage for a video, make it available on, say, Google Drive, and just say, right, anyone who's into video editing, here's the source footage for this. This is the kind of video that I want to make. So here's the source footage and the guidelines for the kind of video that I want this to be. Let's see who can make a good video out of it. But one of my misgivings about that is it kind of feels like one of those things where people do a competition to design a new logo, and it's basically a way of getting something designed for free.
Well, see, I was planning on it not being that, in the sense of there would be remuneration.
What, for the one that I like the most or something?
Basically.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
A prize for winning.
Yeah. That's the thing, though, is the problem is I don't think I would be able to afford to pay someone any reasonable amount of money for editing. And I don't want to ask someone to do it for free.
If you don't ask, you don't get.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. We'd have to, it's something to think about, I guess. But I mean, on a similar note, though, it would be interesting to see what else is possible, especially with the potentially new for the new camera setup that I'm currently testing. So this is something I've been I'm testing a new camera setup that I've been threatening to do for a long time. It was originally Caradog's idea from way back when, whereas normally, as anyone who follows the channel knows, I record in OBS with a webcam setup, and the typical setup Oh, I can't switch to it now because the cameras are all in use for this, so it won't switch properly. But I've got two webcams. We've got the bench cam that looks down at the table, which is this one, and I've got another webcam, which is the face cam, which is currently being used by Discord, so Caradog can see me without delay. Those obviously get recorded into OBS, and I have the face cam in the top left and so on. And Caradog had the idea that instead of doing that, I would record in OBS with a 4K canvas and tile 4 1080p streams. So I'd have 1080p bench cam, 1080p face cam, 1080p video capture, 1080p something else like desktop. But the issue is that the recording station didn't have the grunt to do that. However, now it does because I've upgraded the recording station from a 960 to a 1070. And the 1070 has got enough grunt to record at 4K. And so I'm now recording 4K video, and then after that, I run that through Handbrake, which then basically chops it all out and crops it all out into, well, as much as I need, up to 4 1080p stems, as it were. And so now I'll be able to do editing where I can actually switch cameras in post, which will be incredibly useful. And that could make it very interesting, but it also makes the editing much more complicated. So I need to potentially get good or get a lot better at editing because there's more work to do. So we'll see.
Absolutely, but it will certainly allow you to have better.
Yeah, it's definitely a really good idea moving forward. So I like the idea of that.
Yeah.
It
certainly give you more flexibility on editing stuff.
Better underproduced than overproduced. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, I mean, for a lot of stuff, I'll probably end up just superimposing the face cam in the corner anyway. It just means that, like, now and then, if I stop what I'm doing and talk to the camera for a bit, we can just switch to face cam instead of there just being nothing going on the main cam. So yeah.
Yeah,
so, yes,
and that it was kind of those situations I was really thinking of where it's a case of if you kind of stop doing something on the main desk and you're talking about something, you can pop out to a fuller view of you as opposed to being a postage stamp in the corner.
The test video for that was I recorded a review of the Lianli Lancool 2, and let me just quickly, I'll show you guys how that has actually come out. So hang on a sec, if I open this and put that there, and in OBS, if I just move OBS to there a sec. Whoop. So if I go to there, so that's the output video that I've got now. And so what we've actually got here is in the top left, we've got what would be the bench cam. In the top right, we've got what would be the face cam. Let me mute this, and then this is the HDMI capture card, and then this corner is just a desktop capture. And the reason why that is tiled into infinity is because I have a full screen preview on the left desktop. So the desktop was capturing itself during that time. But if I was showing a browser source or something like that, there would be a browser there. And yeah, so now I've got separate camera sources for everything. And so that's actually rather cool. So that's the idea of what we're actually doing.
And obviously the other thing is it will give you effectively slightly better quality on that.
Yeah.
If you're using the face cam.
Yeah.
Just because it's actually captured at resolution as opposed to captured it postage stamp.
And it's also just good for when I'm doing builds and stuff like that, because there's a lot of the time when I'm doing builds that I don't want me to be visible because I'm not talking to the camera, and a lot of the time I'm just working on cables and stuff, and I don't need to be there at the time. So I want to be able to remove myself from the picture.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
yeah.
And then especially if you do stuff with like Wi-Fi camera off phone or something.
Yeah. That's right, because also on that note, actually, is I've got a solution for when I need a handy cam as well. Is A friend of the channel, Noah, sent me this thigh action cam.
So fun.
Yeah, and so it's a not GoPro, and I've been messing around with this one as well, and it actually takes a really good picture. The image stabilization on it is very good as well. I wish I'd been using this for the behind the scenes videos for the shop tour and stuff like that, because it's obviously my phone is horrendously jittery, whereas this is so stable, and I should have just been waving this around for all the behind the scenes stuff. But yeah, so I can
Upgrade
record
people.
footage on this and very easily add it into the video. The only problem with this is it doesn't allow me to change the field of view. It's stuck on like 100-degree field of view, which has got a lot of fisheye on it. And I would like to be, and yeah, annoyingly, it just doesn't seem to have the option to do like 90 or 75 degrees like a GoPro would allow you to do. Because you can put a GoPro into 75 or 90-degree FOV, which completely eliminates fisheye. So yeah, but again, I don't know how much of a problem that is either, you know, so make of that what you will.
Yeah, I guess it depends on what the usage
Yeah, I think a
is.
lot of people probably wouldn't mind, because a lot of people can go sort of, will see fisheye and be like, oh, it's an action cam. That's what they look like, you know, so
Yeah.
yeah.
It's just interesting that it won't let you do it. I mean, I guess the other thing you could do is, if it has the option, is record in like 1440p and then just crop in post.
That's exactly what I've gone to do. I've set it to
Yeah.
1440p, and when I'm recording with it, I just need to make sure I remember to do wide angle. So when I'm actually framing the shot up, I need to make sure that I pull out way back further than I think I need to. Because normally, obviously, when you're framing up a shot, you're looking to fill the picture with the subject.
Yeah.
So I just need to remember to go, right, fill the picture and pull back, you know. So yeah.
Absolutely. And I guess if you wanted to get really fancy, I'm sure like After Effects and stuff has like defishying tools and stuff that can take an hour a
Yeah,
frame.
that requires me to get good with software, which I'm not going to do, being realistic. It's
But
not that
that's
I
what
don't.
editors are for.
Yeah, it's time to get a free editor and pay them an exposure. Yeah, we'll see.
No, not that kind.
Right, catching up on chat. Right, a couple of quick things. So, oh, I saw a couple further up. Where was it? There we go. So yes, but yes, hello Laszlo, by the way. Appreciate your messages as well. Please no raid ads. Shadow Man here with Raid Shadow Legions. No, don't worry, I won't be doing that. At some point, I keep making this threat just so no one can say that they didn't see it coming. At some point, someone will come to me with a sponsor offer that I'll be like, hell yeah. However, it will be for something that I don't think is trashy. I will not take what I deem to be a trashy sponsor offer, such as some trashy mobile game. So yeah, it'll be something that I actually think is not awful. So
But $20,000, Graham.
that's just it. Let's say Raid Shadow Legends came to me and said, we'll give you 10 grand for a video sponsorship. Would that be enough for me to get panned by my audience? Because like, that's the thing, Raid Shadow Legends has gone past meme status into everyone is just sick and tired of it now. Like the last time that Linus Tech Tips did a Raid Shadow sponsor, like they did it thinking that it was just going to be memed on. They were just like, oh yeah, no one will care because everyone's so used to it. But it's like, no, they actually got panned for it. So, but it's a case of, yeah, what would I sell out for?
Packet of M&Ms.
No, more than that.
2 packets of M&Ms.
Yeah. Teltac said, why not just quad stream to RTMP server, recording to file? Well, that's basically what I'm doing. I'm just recording. Oh, I see. Like record. Well, no, you'd have to do
That's
4
still
separate
required.
streams. So it's just no.
And that would require 2 computers.
Yeah, too complicated. Right, and scrolling down. Let's see. Vila, I put my RAM frequency to 2400, but in Windows still says 1300. How to solve the problem? Mobo is made by Biostar. 1300. 26.
Is that a typo?
Yeah.
Because Windows should show it as 1200.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. That's what I was thinking. If you're seeing memory speeds that are down in the thousands range, bear in mind that a lot of the time, a lot of programs will report memory speed at bus speed, not DDR speed. Because remember, DDR is double data rate. So when you say you've got, double transfer rate.
Well, it's okay. It's the issue is
Yeah.
that the RAM speed of 2600 of 3600 is mega transfers. It's
Yeah.
not megahertz,
Yeah.
and it's reported in the wrong units by most software.
The important thing though is that a lot of things, for example, CPU Z, might say that might report your RAM speed at, let's say you've got 3200 RAM, it will report that as 1600, and then 1600 at DDR is 3200. So that, if that's 1200, that would explain that one. So yes, that might be it.
Or obviously 13 being 2600.
Tylad said you got a 1070 Ti 8 gig. You see no reason to upgrade. 1440p high refresh, and you'll see the limits of that card. I know because I've just retired my 1070 non-Ti because at 1440p high refresh rate it struggles. It can do it. I think it's only because I want to stream games at 1440p at like 120 FPS. That's why I needed a new graphics card. So it depends on what you're doing, but at 1440p you'll quickly start seeing the ceiling of a 1070. It has the 1070 and the 1070 Ti though, they have been troopers. Trades blows with a 2060. So yeah. Let's see. NordVPN as well. What would people think about a VPN sponsor? I suppose it would depend on who it is. Because like VPN sponsors seem to be one of those things where everyone is used to seeing them. So like I feel like that would be a safe option to do a VPN sponsor, because people would be like, don't care, and skip forward by 10 seconds or 30 seconds. Rather than actually getting annoyed.
I think it depends on what you actually said. Because I think if it was actually done from a perspective of actually being factually accurate, that would probably be a good place to start.
Yeah, I'd have to.
If you were selling a VPN as the geo-shifting watch Netflix from another country tool it is, then sure.
Yeah, that's exactly the angle that I would want to go with.
If that's what you're actually selling, then sure. If you're selling it as some sort of whiz-bang privacy tool, it isn't a whiz-bang privacy tool. So
yeah, I was watching someone else the other day who did a VPN sponsor spot. I can't remember who it was. It was one of the mainstream ones, and they started going through all the talking points of like not being set, your data without a VPN, your data is open and can be intercepted by people in the middle and stuff like that. And this was on a tech channel, I think it was, and I was like, I was like, technically yes and technically no, and just I don't like this,
Yeah,
and also because it also just came across as just those really pandering talking points as well.
Yeah.
Whereas if you just, I kind of like the way that, for example, when Linus Tech Tips are selling private internet access, and they're just like, this is really good for when you're pirating stuff and you want to watch stuff that's banned in certain countries. And they allow 10 people so you can share it with all of your mates. And I'm just like, yeah, thank you. That's what I care.
Yeah.
Like, that's what we actually care about. That's what we want to hear, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah,
And
it's a case.
that's the kind of thing that I would sell. I think that would piss off the least number of people.
And I think that as a case, if that's the advertising they're happy to go with, that's a company that I'd actually be willing to spend money on.
Absolutely, yeah, because I think they understand the audience at that point, don't they? Like
Yeah.
private internet access, because they allow Linus Tech Tips to sell it in that manner, they clearly understand the audience and they understand what people actually want to hear. Because like, I think a lot of VPNs know that that's exactly what their product is being used for, but they don't like to say it. Whereas PIA are now just at the point where they're just like, let's not beat around the bush. This is what people use our product for, and this is what you want our product for.
Yeah, basically. And it's yeah, mostly the case of sort of geo-shifting yourself for watching streaming content.
Yeah.
I think the thing that's still the most sucky for me, I was looking at F1, the F1 subscription thing through the Formula One website for access to the streaming content. You get access to different content in different countries for a service run by the FIA for their subscription, and you get different content in different countries. And I'm like,
I hate it. I hate everything about it. Yeah.
what?
This is the thing. Piracy,
What?
like, this is why
Piracy fixes this problem.
Yeah.
Why do I have to pirate your content that I want to pay you money for just to be able to watch the race?
Yep. Piracy is making a big ass comeback because I mean, everyone here, you know, we all know how it goes. If you want people to pay for your content, you need to make it more convenient to access. What's the terminology? It's convenience is king, isn't it? You need to make it convenient. And the problem is that streaming content now is becoming decidedly inconvenient because there's too many goddamn services. And piracy is making a massive comeback as a result of that. I know that I pirate things because every time I want to go watch a movie, it's not available on any of the 3 streaming services that I have access to. And I'm like, if I've got access to Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, and something else, if I can't find a movie on any of those 3, I'm going to be like, screw this, I'm just going to pirate it. I've gone through 3 services and none of you have this movie I want to watch. And it's not even like, I think I've had this rant before on the show, but it was the last time I wanted to go and watch John Wick. I wanted to watch the first John Wick movie because I was just in the mood for some John Wick. And I couldn't find it. I don't know what service John Wick is on, but it's not on Netflix and it's not on, and Prime Video wanted me to pay £2.50. And I'm like, no, I pay for Prime. I have a Prime account. I pay for Prime. That's not how this works. I don't pay for membership to a club in order to pay again. You know, same with Disney and their, you know, you get Disney Plus and then you pay to rent the movie. No, that's not how this works. I've paid my subscription. Don't double dip me. And go on. Giggity. Anyway, so yeah, get out my face with that noise. So I go and pirate it. So yes, anyway, okay, you guys get the point. I'm going to cut off that now. So, let's see. What were we talking about?
But yes. No, I was just thinking Prime Video is the only service I actually flicked through and looked at. And it's just like the only thing that was on there was like Picard. And I was just like, oh yeah, I'll start watching this.
I think Picard is the only thing I've used Prime Video for.
And Grand Tour.
Yeah, I never got into Grand Tour.
Because just picking up an episode of that here and there and stuff like that. It was good for that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I never got into it. However, Picard was excellent, if a little slow to get going. I
didn't like it. I didn't like it as much as I think people think I would.
Yeah, I think it was a good compromise between.
And you know why?
Go on. Yeah.
Well, just in the sense of I'm like, it doesn't feel like I say I understand that the universe needs to move on
Hmm.
because it isn't the early 80s anymore.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm kind of going, but that's what I want to watch.
Yeah.
It was lacking in the it was lacking in what sci-fi should be. It wasn't there was insufficient self-reflection via the distorted perspective of sci-fi. There wasn't the mirror of society in the same ways there was with other stuff, and there was more pretty explosions and violence and shooting people
Yeah.
kind of emphasis. And it's kind of a case of, whilst I get that in a sense, at the same time I'm kind of like, it's
Yeah.
not.
I think it
But
was.
then
I think it
again,
was as good as it could be. Consider all things considered.
yeah, I thought it was very good.
Yeah.
For I thought it was very good, it being what it was, kind of thing.
Yeah.
It being Star Trek in 2020.
And in a way, I think you could also argue that the fact that Picard himself, we're off on a big old tangent here, but I think the fact that Picard himself also, I feel like Picard himself thought the same thing. In that, he was Picard, or Jean-Luc in Picard. He is a relic at the point of that story. He's an old relic. He is.
Yeah.
A lot of people considered him to be washed up, a thing of the past, and so on. And in a way, he kind of reflects that, where he's just like, this is not how it used to be. This is not how we used to do things. Whereas everyone else is like, this is how it is now, get used to it, kind of thing.
Yes, that. I think
Yeah.
that.
And that's kind of just like part of, and at the same, in a way, it's almost just, it's a story about him having to deal with that. Not so much accept it as something that he now has to get on board with, but just something that he has to deal with. But I don't know. Yeah. Picard is a good show. I think it's worth watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
I don't think it was what people wanted, or at least I don't think it was what the rabid vocal fan base wants. And I think a lot of the very vocal old fan base won't like it for other reasons they possibly don't want to address about themselves. But that's not a conversation to have here.
Yeah, fair enough. I see where you're going with that, and yeah.
But yeah, it was.
But yeah, everyone can form their own opinions, though. In any case,
I haven't got on board with Discovery.
I haven't watched any of the other modern.
Through lack of actually watching it.
Yeah, I haven't watched Discovery, and I mean, I haven't even seen Voyager. For me, my favorite Star Trek is and always will be Next Generation. Which I think nailed the format. But yeah.
Yeah, I think we're talking about very much wanting 90s style TV to work in 2021.
Yes.
And it doesn't.
And that's the problem is,
and we are 90s people wanting late 80s, early 90s content.
Yeah.
That just doesn't work anymore.
If you want Next Generation, then go and watch Next Generation. There's heckin' 9 seasons of it. So yeah.
Kind of thing. Yeah.
Sometimes, a lot of people want more of the same. And it's like, you got 9 seasons of it, mate. Move on. Yeah. I don't know.
Exactly. It's that. And I think in a way that's kind of why, ticking it back a few years more, was a case of why I didn't get on with Stargate Atlantis, quite as well as I got on with SG-1.
Yeah.
Because it started airing 6 years later. So the world had moved on by 6 years.
Yeah.
The crew had moved on by 6 years. What TV was had moved on by 6 years, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I don't want to necessarily say I'm not ready for that, but in the sense of that wasn't what I was looking for in that content at that time.
Yeah, that's fair. I understand what you mean by that. So yeah,
Yeah, and
fair
so
enough.
yes.
Um,
Oh, Babylon 5. That is a wild ride going into Babylon 5 as someone who never watched it as a child and came straight into it as someone in 2020.
I have not seen any of Babylon. So
Take
yeah,
peak 90s,
yeah,
peak 90s, and make it a sci-fi.
fair enough.
Add American politics, but by different names. Get Babylon 5.
Yeah, all right.
So yeah, it is a ride.
Fair enough. Whether or not, yeah, I don't know. There's so many things that I would like to watch, and I'm just
It's
like,
worth
I'd like to, but
watching.
I'm probably never ever going to actually watch
It's
it.
worth watching as long as you
Yeah,
go in with the understanding that it is peak 90s-ness
yeah.
kind of thing. And it was
Some periods are very much
yeah.
like they're. When you see that period, you're just like, oh yeah, you're not kidding. Peak 90s, I get it.
But also just the fact that there's someone called Garibaldi, as in the biscuit,
Yeah. Okay.
and just stuff like that. And they were like, oh yes, we're going to have this character who's going to have an atrocious Russian accent, but only for the first 2 episodes. Then they're going to become American, kind of thing, because we realized how bad of an accent it was.
They're just gonna give up on that. Fair enough.
Yeah. And just like the person who kind of looks like they have a shoe brush on their head
Okay.
because aliens.
Hmm.
Mystic gas ball.
Fair enough.
Oh, it's good. It's good though. It's a
Um,
thing.
in other news, Christopher David, thank you very much for the $20 super chat. Loved the Slinkenage live stream last week. Thanks, dude. I'm glad you had a good time there. We had a good time building that computer. Actually, that went really well. That live stream, I was very happy. So yeah, it's if anyone missed it, last week, yeah, last Sunday it was. Caradog and I had Slink around the shop, Slinkenage, who is a good friend of ours, and we rebuilt his computer on his Twitch channel. And I'm going to drop a heckin' link into the chat for that. It will still be available as a VOD on his channel, so if you want to watch like a 4-hour VOD of a computer build, then feel free to go to twitch.tv/slincarnage.
Are you actually going to link to the VOD?
No. Are you pulling up the VOD?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, you can do it then. Yep, you do it. I'll let you do it, and I'll back read some more of the chat.
There is a fantastic clip, of course. Don't touch.
Let's see. Also, there was another chat message that I saw earlier on that I was going to reply to, and then I lost it. Someone asked why my camera is mirrored, and yes, well spotted. The camera, as you can see, is indeed mirrored. The reason for that is that I've got when I'm looking at the OBS preview where I can see Caradog, it's slightly to my right. And so I've mirrored it so Caradog and I are kind of facing toward each other. Because if we both had the cameras on normal view, he's going to change it now. I can see him doing it. If we both
No, I
had
was just closing the sync
okay.
stream.
Yeah. If we both had our cameras non-mirrored, we would be facing away from each other. Like we would both be sitting like this, pointing away from each other all the time, which looks a bit weird. And it looks, yeah. So there's that, and I won't bother changing mine. But the point is, we'd both be facing slightly away from each other, and it looks nicer to have us slightly facing toward each other. So yeah. There's the VOD for the stream that we did with Slink. So that's that. Oh yeah, don't touch. Yeah, that was the thing as well. Let's see. Right. I have missed everything else. We went on such a sci-fi and we went on such a TV binge just then that the chat has scrolled by past all of the tech stuff, and I can't find anything now. So
Fine. Someone's asking how they can donate money to you.
Are they? Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's definitely worth addressing. Yeah, there are many ways. Um, it feels weird saying, "Here's how you can give me your money." However, whatever. There are
You can
multiple ways.
send a postal order too.
Oh no, it's a MoneyGram. Definitely the most legitimate way to send money.
I also accept cryptocurrency and Western Union.
Yeah. Let me see. The easiest way to donate at the moment is to you can send a super chat, or you can become a channel member on YouTube, or you can join the Patreon. There is a Patreon as well. Or failing that, I do also stream on Twitch myself. I do game streams on Thursday and Friday nights. I'm going to drop a link into my Twitch because I can do that. Never firm. I also stream on Twitch, and you can sub to me on Twitch, which also supports the channel, goes toward the content. And if you are a channel member, a Patreon, or a Twitch subscriber, all of that gets you access to the exclusive content in the Discord as well. So that is a thing. And also, if you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe to me on Twitch for free and get access to the exclusive content by using your Amazon Prime Twitch sub on me. So that is a thing. There we go. Let me see. Do you use magic arms in your camera setup? What do you mean by magic arms? I use camera boom arms. Like, if I turn this camera around so it can see its own camera stand, as you can see, it is on a camera boom arm which is clamped to the desk. Yeah, that's the best way I can do it. There's a video on the channel somewhere called "My Camera Setup in 5 Minutes" or something like that, where I actually show it. It's a terribly made video that's all shaky cam, but you will see the camera setup in the old shop. Or failing that, coming up soon will be the 100,000 subscriber special, where we'll get a new shop tour, and I'll show the camera setup in that video as well. So that'll be a thing. Yes. Fluke EB.
There we go.
What Telltale said. We have got some. We've got some tech support channels in the Discord, so you can ask there. Failing that, if you can summarize the problem in a quick question, we can try it here. It'll be a point of discussion. We'll see if we can answer it. So yeah, don't post me checks. I don't do checks. I don't like them. Google Magic Arm and you'll see. Okay, well, you know what? I'll do that. I will do that. Where's the spare window? Let me see. Magic Arm camera mount. Images. Oh yeah. Yeah, just kind of standard camera rigging stuff. No, I don't use rigging stuff like that. So for, hang on a sec, let me share this so people can see what we're looking at. Desktop. So yeah, Magic Arms, it more or less just standard camera rigging stuff. So yeah, you have adjustable camera mounts that can go onto stands and all kinds of things like that. So yeah, no, I don't use these. I use boom arms. However, I am thinking of, whoops, that's very much the wrong scene. Anyway.
Oh boy.
So, anyway, however, I will probably actually get something very similar to that for the face cam in the future and have it mounted off of one of the lighting stands, because one of the issues that I've got with the face cam is that it's sitting on one of the monitors and it's a bit wobbly at the moment. I've noticed in one of the recent video that I shot for the Lianli Landcool 2, there's a lot of camera wobble. So I need to remount the camera to fix that. So yeah, that's the thing. But that thing's, why aren't I in a huge warehouse? I don't need a huge warehouse. So yeah.
Not now.
No, not yet. So yeah, we'll see that. Does Graham own his own shop? Yes, this is my shop and my business. So yeah. Bit of a messy corner there. It is. That particular corner is where the cardboard gets dumped. Have I applied for the play button for making 100K? Not yet. I'm waiting for YouTube to offer it to me. How it works is once you hit 100,000 subscribers, apparently within a week or two, as soon as you are eligible, YouTube will just simply will give you a notification in YouTube Studio that you can apply for it, or claim it rather. So I'm waiting for just a notification. No idea when it'll trigger. It has not triggered yet. That's all I know about that.
I did have a skinny.
A skinny?
Of the YouTube Studio and couldn't find anything.
Yeah. So as far as I know, I've met all the requirements for it. I did set up, like, the other thing I did as well is I'm trying to make sure that I've done all of YouTube's recommended things. Like, they've been badgering me to set up a new vanity URL for ages, because the vanity URL I had was one of the legacy ones. And they have been wanting me to set up a non-legacy one. And so I finally got that set up. So now it's just YouTube. So now youtube.com/c/adamantcomputers now works instead of youtube.com/adamantcomputers. It's dumb and stupid. Anyway, I did all the things that they wanted me to do just in case they were not offering me things because I had not finished setting up the channel or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. At some point they'll do it. So we'll see. Let's see.
Instead, they'll just mute your channel.
Yeah, I hope not. We should be all right there. But
you
yeah.
cannot post any more videos.
What do you think of joining Floatplane? That's an idea that came up last week, I think, actually, and it's definitely something that I have considered doing, and I think I will probably do that. I mean, that will be another way of supporting me, because Floatplane is obviously all subscription-based content. Is there free content on Floatplane, or is it all assumed to be subscribers only?
As far as I'm aware, it's subscribers only.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And so I guess I could. I mean, I guess that would work because one of the models that I'm going to be moving to in the next few months is that videos will go up to subscribers earlier. And by early, I don't mean a fixed 1 week early. I mean, as soon as I have made a video and uploaded it, subscribers will, contributors will be able to watch it immediately instead of waiting for the scheduled release. So you may see a video anywhere between 24 hours and 7 days early, kind of thing, depending on how early I made it. And yeah, so Floatplane would be the same deal basically. I'd upgrade. I would probably get a Floatplane account and I'd upload stuff to that again just as soon as I'm ready. It won't go out on any kind of schedule. But then the thing is on YouTube, the algorithm is important and I need to keep a schedule and stuff like that. Whereas with Floatplane, there's no algorithm nonsense. So I could just upload as and when I feel like it to Floatplane and that will work as intended. So yeah, don't see a difference between Patreon and Floatplane. Yeah. Agreed.
Floatplane actually hosts the videos, though.
Yeah, Floatplane hosts the videos and
way higher bitrate.
Yeah, Floatplane will be able to host the videos at better quality because YouTube does mangle stuff, and additionally, it's also about spreading out the revenue sources because don't put all your eggs in one basket. Basically, I don't want Patreon. I don't want any one place to be my primary source of income. I mean, right now, YouTube has the highest revenue stream, but also like some people don't like Patreon, so they don't want that. I do get people who are just like, oh, I'd like to contribute to the channel, but I don't want to use Patreon, you know? So it's like, well, that's why we've got YouTube channel memberships now. Or other people will be like sort of, oh, YouTube channel memberships aren't available to me. Patreon isn't available to me. Oh, I could pay on Floatplane though. I'm already subscribed to other people on Floatplane, so it's like cool, go there. So it's a double thing. It's being on multiple platforms, so people can use whichever platform is their platform of choice, and it's also about spreading things out. So if Patreon suddenly dive bombs because their vast quantities of venture capital catch up with them, then I can be like, Patreon died. Not a big deal because we've still got these 4 other revenue streams. Whereas if I make it so all the exclusive content is all Patreon and then Patreon falls over, that's going to wipe out like half of the revenue stream for the channel in one fell swoop. And I just simply have to hope that I can recover that revenue stream somewhere else. So yeah, it's all about spreading it out, basically. Don't put your eggs in one basket, peeps.
The other thing as well about making it multinational is, I guess, in a sense, it's also about detaching it from payment processes. So it would need to be a case of cryptocurrencies. Like Octopus or whatever it was, or Library or whatever it was called.
Yeah, Library being one of them. Yeah, we were discussing this last week. I'm going to have to, I should set up a crypto wallet just so if people are just like, look, I deal with crypto, that's it. I can be like, sure thing, I got crypto. Because like, well, I'm not really interested in crypto as we discussed last week. But on the flip side, it's a case of if people want to give me crypto, they're more than welcome to, you know. Who am I to say that
I'd been invested in the memes of Doge.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's a case of who am I to say that your money isn't good enough, you know? So, Rick Lakes, thank you for the $5. Hello. How's it going, my dude?
Okay.
Let's see. So checking back on a couple of things. Let me see. Eli the computer guy explained that you have to apply for the button now. I have Googled it on 3 occasions and everything says that a notification will appear in YouTube Studio when you are eligible to apply. That's what I'm seeing everywhere. If anyone if anyone thinks that is wrong, show me the link. Show me the link where you apply. So yeah, if that's correct, then send me the link, man. You know, if there's another way of doing it, I'm all ears. Send me the link. So yeah.
Yeah, everything you do gets auto-posted to Odyssey Library Nest, doesn't it?
That's right, yeah. Library's Odyssey is automatic.
Is there a way of doing that not from YouTube?
I don't know. I wouldn't want to anyway, because
it seems to be grabbing the YouTube video, then re-encoding it or transcoding it.
Probably.
So it seems to end up with a mangly version.
Yeah.
By comparison.
I am not invested enough in Library to do a dedicated upload though. Like I do a dedicated upload for Floatplane. I'd make the effort for that. But I'm not going to do a dedicated upload for Library. Especially because also what I really don't want to land in is where I'm having to upload a video 3 or 4 times, because that gets tiring. On several occasions, I've been involved with organizations where I've had to do social media posts to about 3 or 4 different websites, and it turns what should be a 5-minute job into a 1-hour job. And I hate it. I hate it with a passion. So yeah, that would be a no-no.
Yeah.
So yes.
Yeah. But it was just a case of I was wondering if you could tell it to grab from, say, Floatplane instead.
I see, yeah.
When you have that set up, because the Floatplane one will be a higher bitrate one.
Yeah.
And it won't have been re-encoded. As far as I'm aware, Floatplane just serves the video that you send them.
Yeah.
At the highest quality setting. And then the lower ones, they transcribe.
That would be interesting. I can't see them implementing that. I don't think Floatplane is big enough for them to do it. But I mean, if nothing else, it could be worth just a tweet over to the Odyssey team, just saying, "Hey guys, I post higher quality content to thing." But then on the other hand, they'd have to set up the system where they can access your content on Floatplane, including exclusive content. And then they need a system of knowing what content is public and what is exclusive. And yeah. Whereas with the YouTube content, you know, Library is just going to grab.
I see. Yes.
Library.
I realized, yes, for that, absolutely.
That's a case of, that would be great, but I think that problem is a lot more complicated to solve than it initially seems.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that would be difficult to implement. Yes, I was just thinking about them grabbing all of the videos.
Mm.
But then obviously either you'd have to manually publish them or um yeah, or you'd have to somehow be able to flag them, but that would require Floatplane being able to flag.
Yeah, pretty much.
Or just a case of saying something like, do not display this video for 1 week, or something like that on library. But then obviously you'll get a weird stepping. I don't know.
Yeah. And again, as I say, I don't know if I'm not convinced that library is worth the hassle at the moment. I mean, we did discover last week that I've actually garnered a reasonable amount of, well, I say a reasonable revenue. I have accrued about $350 worth of library coin. However, that's not to say that library is suddenly making a lot of money. I think it's just simply because some library coin that I had previously accrued when it was worthless has drastically gone up in value. Not library is making me lots of money.
We found out on the stream last week that there was a 90% pump on like that day.
That's right, yeah.
So it's just kind of a case of like,
yeah. TLDR, it's a case of I like what library is doing, and as I say, I've got it set up so my content is going over there. However, I don't mean this in a nasty way, but I don't care about library, if you see what I mean. Yeah, I've set it up. It's automated, so it's doing its thing. I have zero interest in putting any more effort into it, basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, and as I say, I mean that in the nicest possible way. I don't know. I think the podcasts go out to library. I don't know. They're VODs, not uploads, so I'm not sure. However, if you're watching this on library, then thanks anyway, I guess. So yeah. However, consider the fact that I set it up in the first place to be my interest in library. My content is going out there, so there it is. If you use library, you can see my stuff. That's it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see. Right, I'm going to read from the top of the window without scrolling up. Let's see. If you set up a Bitcoin wallet, take your time. It takes almost a day to download, and it's 359 gigs. What? Not sure what you're referring to there. Let's see. Am I just going to pin my award to the wall or make calculator out of it? I don't think I'm going to do anything. When I get the play button, I think I'm just going to nail it to the wall, basically. I don't think I'm going to do anything fancy with it. If I were to do something fancy with it, I would probably make up a fake one. I'd make up I'd make a counterfeit one and do something cool with that. So that way, when I have to cut or damage or destroy it in order to do something cool with it, I've made a copy of one and been like, here we go. I've made this one that looks like it, but the real one is in the other room, kind of thing. You know. So it's visually impressive, but I haven't actually butchered my silver play button for it. Jovica, how much can I sell a 974 gig for these days? Depends what country you're in. In the UK, they go for 130 to 200. Yeah, that sounds about right. Basically, it's a matter of just checking eBay. Yeah.
Or Facebook Marketplace, either or.
I suppose, yeah.
You're going to sell it via, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, about 180 on eBay sounds sensible to me. That sounds realistic. And yeah, obviously that's a vastly inflated price. I don't think it's worth that much by a long shot. But there's lots of graphics cards that are selling way above what they should be worth, just simply because no one can get anything else at the moment. So. Yeah, that's that. So if you've got any old grotty graphics cards that you genuinely don't need, now's a good time to be selling them. Sell them all up now. The only reason why I'm not selling off anything that I've got is because I don't know when I'm going to need something for a customer. But if you're just a home user and you've got all your old graphics cards sitting in a box, flog them on eBay now. Now is the best time to get rid of them. If you've got no intention of using them and you're not building for other people, just sell them. It's a good time to get rid of them.
Yeah.
RGB play button. Yeah, that might be funny. I'd have to think of something original. Subscriber counter display is cool, but it's been done before. It's been done before. I might do something RGB with it for the lols. That'd be cool. Asking $200 for a used 1060 isn't that bad. Oh yeah, I think $200 for a 1060, that almost sounds cheap to me, considering the current value. Because the 1060 is getting on, but it's still a viable card for 1080p gaming. Still absolutely viable. So
yeah, given that all day I've been seeing like 3090s plopping up from Germany at like 2,600 euros.
I don't know. Yeah. The 3090 seemed to be fairly resistant to the prices at first because it was expensive enough that demand was significantly lower on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know why people are spending that much on them. Yeah. I don't know.
But it's just, yeah, everything's crazy.
Turn it into a CPU cooler.
It's definitely gotten worse the past like 4 days, 5 days.
That's what worries me about all of this is just, somehow it's still getting worse. And I think that's why, like, I haven't been all fanfare about getting a 3070, thanks to Caradog's very quick work. I haven't been sort of posting everywhere going sort of, yeah, I got a 3070, and I haven't done a video about my computer and me going sort of, here's me fitting my 3070, because I didn't want to rub it in people's faces. I personally think it's kind of distasteful to be like sort of, I got mine, I'm going to be all right. However, I feel like I feel like I made a very good decision in saying I'm going to buy a graphics card now because this isn't getting any better. Basically, I didn't desperately need a new graphics card. However, I was like, this is going to last for at least another year, and I'm definitely going to want a new graphics card within the next year. So let's get it squared away. Let's get it done. And, this time in 12 months, I'm sure you'll be able to buy the 3070 for cheaper than what I've paid. But, for now, at least I'm sorted,
Absolutely. I think the thing as well is, it's like the 6700 XT seems to be the worst by percentage. Just because its MSRP is like £400. Just under £400. Any that I've seen posted have been like 700, 760.
The mid-ranges are the worst, yeah. Because like the 3060 and the 3060 Ti are also really heckin' bad by the same argument as well. They are also going for like £500 or £600, aren't they? And like that's well into,
I've seen 3060 Ti's going for 1,000.
Yeah, and it's just like, that's more than a 3070. Who's paying that,
Yeah, absolutely.
I think
I've seen like in the US, like 3060s, the non-Ti, going for like $1,400.
It's bonkers. That's nuts. At that point, you have to say, no, that's unacceptable. I'll just go without. Because like I could like at any time when I started seeking a new graphics card, when I made the decision, I was like, I am going to get a new graphics card. I'm going to start hunting. At any time, I could have dropped 900 quid on a 3070 on eBay or Facebook Marketplace and got a brand new one for £900. However, and I was close to doing that. I was like, I'm just going to drop 900 quid. I'll buy a scalped card and just be done with it. So it's done, But then, thankfully, I got talked down off of that ledge by various people, and then I landed at the point where I'm just like, no, that's unacceptable. 900 quid for this for a 70 series graphics card is unacceptable. I would rather go without than pay that.
I've seen today a couple of 3070s going for about 580, 600 quid.
Yeah. See, I think that's the going rate for them right now. I think that's a fair price.
Of them around there,
Yeah.
but most of them are around 680, 700. That's where most of them are. So it's just like, yeesh.
Yeah.
It's mad. But yeah, it definitely seems to have gotten worse this week. There also seems to have been a lot less or a lot fewer, should I say, stock drops.
Yeah. Oh,
Of
interesting. Dan Andre says 3060 Ti is the meta for mining Ethereum right now. Is that true? Because like even with the although well, did the drivers actually get fully hacked for fully
that was the
unlocked?
3060.
Ah, yeah, the non-Ti, yeah.
Yeah.
So the 3060 Ti is that the best hash rate per watt or something? Then
I would guess so,
yeah.
because the 3060 Ti also seems to be pretty much the sweet spot for folding at home as well.
Oh yeah, yeah. That in that
Folding
case,
sort of
that would
widely.
answer that question then.
Because yeah, I'm
Because
dramatically more interested in grabbing another 3060 Ti than I am anything else,
yeah,
except for a 6900 XT at a decent price.
mm,
But yeah,
yeah. You've seen 1660 Ti's going for $1,400. Good grief. That's the saddest thing to me is that this is the fact of like I wouldn't mind the 30 series being unobtainium if at least we could just buy some previous gen cards for sensible prices. Because like the 1660 Ti and the 1660 Super, those are great graphics cards. You know, like the 1660 Ti trades blows with a 1070, which again, as I say, a 1070 will give you 1440p gaming at 60 frames a second. You know, it'll struggle if you want 1440p high refresh rate, which is why I upgraded mine. However, 1440p 60 FPS is very respectable, and the 1660 Ti will happily take a swing at that. And also, but 2060s have been popping up as well. Scan have had 2060s, but again, you know, they're £370. I bought one for £370 and I've got it on my shelf because I bought it on a whim because I saw it there and I'm like, I don't know when my next opportunity to get a decent graphics card will be. So I'm just going to buy it and put it on the shelf and I'll do something with it at some point. But yeah, I don't know, man. I just, I think that's the worst part is the fact that we can't get anything.
yeah, and also the fact of it's getting worse.
Yeah.
It definitely is getting worse. Or at least the prices are getting higher, depending on how you kind of phrase that, I guess. But yeah.
Yeah. And that's the thing, Chris Kingan. Chris just said, you know, I've got a 1660 Super just sitting in the PC at your parents' house collecting dust. And like, you know, obviously the obvious answer to that is to be like, man, sell that shit, dude, you know, make some buck on that. But the problem is that actually selling it might not be such a great idea because if one of your graphics cards goes down and you need a spare, you can't just buy one at the moment. You know, as much like I was saying earlier on about selling any spare graphics cards you've got, they're incredibly inflated in price right now. So you go sell, sell, sell. But the thing is that you don't know when you'll be able to just buy a graphics card, anything. So you don't want to sell your spare because you can't replace it. And that's certainly, you know, where I'm at. Because initially when the prices were going sky high, I was like, oh, now's the time to sell off all of those grotty cards we've got lying around. But again, now I'm just like, actually, I'm not going to because I literally cannot buy a graphics card. So if someone comes in and they say, I want to buy a gaming PC, right now, at least with these ones lying around, I can be like, look, graphics card market is a mess at the moment, but what I have got lying around is I've got a secondhand 1070, I've got a 1660 Ti, and I've got this 2060, which is obviously gives me a range of graphics cards at a range of prices that I can offer to people. Because other than that, it's a case of I can build you a PC, but it won't have a graphics card in it because I literally cannot buy one.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So yeah, Chris, oh, I got 3 other cards for that. Sell them! Sell, 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 sell.
Yeah. But yeah, absolutely. It is effect. Whilst it sounds like a semantic, and it kind of is, it is a demand issue, not a supply issue.
Yeah, this is just to bounce in, you know, Robert Hencher just said, don't buy the cards at stupid prices, they'll drop, but people are stupid enough to buy the top price. It's not that simple because some people, sorry, I'm just going off to get some parts for this heckin' laptop.
Yeah.
For some people, that's not an option, because for some people, they're like, I don't have a graphics card. I don't have a computer right now. I cannot play games, and I want to play games. So what are they supposed to do? And yeah, carry on with the demand issue bit there, Caradog, with this in mind.
In the sense that there isn't a manufacturing issue,
Yeah.
causing lower supply. There isn't
Manufacturing is higher than it's ever been, isn't it?
there isn't a packaging issue, meaning the cards are being delayed. Now, there isn't a issue now of stuff getting shipped around. There's a fact that, there's I think Nvidia said that they were looking at about 30% over demand effectively. They estimated that they would have X number of orders, so ordered X amount of silicon from Samsung, and it was a case that obviously they have been seeing demand about 30% higher than that, which basically means yeah, everything's gonna run out.
Yeah, and it's a case of like with the value of graphics cards being what they are. I mean, like I've said this one before on stream, but the best terminology I heard for it was a matter of the fabrication. So TSMC and Nvidia and so on. They literally have they've got a money printing machine. So it's just like, why wouldn't you just make more? And it's just like they've run out of paper. That's the problem. They are making as much as they can. They have a monetary incentive to make as much as humanly possible. But if you've got no paper, if you run out of paper, then you can't print more money, basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they're making the paper as fast as they can because they can literally print money. It's nuts. Absolutely crazy.
And it's kind of a case of that's proven with the MSRPs of the 6700 XT and the 3060, because they know that it will just sell, but it's a case of it's like the MSRP is a bit high. If this were an ordinary supply period, the prices are a bit high for the performance, then it's not that good. But it's obviously a case of because there's literally nothing.
Yeah, the MSRP is completely meaningless now, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's a case of because there's literally nothing. Obviously, you don't have to try to make a good product. You just have to have a product to sell.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of proven why even XFX are out of stock.
Yeah. Oof. But yeah, Dan Andre, with the £2 super chat, thank you very much. You built a full mining rig with cards you fixed. I think fixing graphics card now is a really good time to be fixing graphics cards. There's a lot of the time it's something that I've wanted to dabble in for a while, but now there's a lot of old cards out there that are suddenly have become viable again, which are probably quite fixable. The only reason why I haven't been looking for them is like I've got a box of some broken graphics cards that I need to go and practice on anyway. It's just, for me, it's an issue of just hours in the day. But yeah, I think there's a big surge in people who are fixing graphics cards now, just purely because they can now be bothered to fix graphics cards. It's like, okay, now I am incentivized.
Yeah, absolutely.
Suddenly, like I'm thinking about that 960 that is still a very popular video on my channel, that 960 repair video, where I gave up on that 960 because I'm just like, it's a 960, who the fuck cares? Whereas now, people are watching that video going, oh, you should have done this, you should have done that. And I'm like, I didn't know. At the time when I made that video, it was a 960 worth less than 100 quid. Who cares? Whereas
It was
now,
also kind of the case that there was significant amounts wrong with it, that it was kind of a case of
it was a transistor driver. Various people pointed out in the comments, and likewise after the fact, people pointed out that if I'd replaced one of the transistor drivers, that probably would have done the job. And I look at that video now and I'm just like, yeah, it was totally a transistor driver. That was fixable. That was less of a rabbit hole than I realized.
Did you not also have?
I had a donor card. However, the donor card didn't have the correct parts on it. The donor card had a different VRM setup.
No, I thought you had memory issues on it.
No. It was
Okay.
all power. Yep, it was.
Fine. I thought you also had memory issues, which is why you were like, I don't
Yeah.
really care that it didn't work.
Yeah.
I would have got something that would have functioned.
The donor card had memory issues.
Oh, right.
Yeah, the donor card had memory issues, but a working vCore. The card being repaired had a working GPU, working memory, but vCore was down a phase. And in retrospect, we now know that it was almost certainly a bad driver, transistor driver, a bad MOSFET driver that was blowing up MOSFETs, because it basically kept blowing up the phase 1 MOSFET. And yeah, almost certainly a bad driver. And if I had, that was probably fixable. I'm trying to remember if I binned that card or not, basically, because I got a feeling it's sitting in one of the junk boxes in the old shop. And I'm suddenly thinking, oh no, of course, it's in a friend's PC. No, it's in a friend's PC, running on one phase. So, yeah, never mind. And the donor card has got shot memory, so that's no bueno. Yeah, no, that's out. Yeah. For a minute, I was like, can the 960 make a big comeback? That'd make an amazing video. But no, it cannot make a comeback. It's gone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, well.
But yeah, it's also just interesting that the supply, in the sense of also on the second-hand side, we haven't seen a whole bunch of random shite coming out of China for, like fake 1060s and stuff.
I think we have. The same ones are there. They're all on eBay. You look up.
I haven't seen the volumes of it and volumes of people complaining about it.
Oh,
I
more
would
to the
have
point, no
expected
one's
it to have been
buying
a
them.
problem. Yeah, I would
Yeah.
have expected it to have been a massive thing where they would have just listed them for like 10 quid less than the current prices they're going for.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
They're all still suspiciously cheap, and
Yeah,
most
that's
people
my
still.
point. That's why I'm like,
most people are still smart enough to look at that and go, that is suspiciously cheap. It's clearly a fake card. Whereas, if they actually priced them at, believable prices, they'd probably sell more of them and be catching a lot more people out.
Sell all of your fake 1060s
Yeah.
for like $300, $400.
Yeah.
You'll make more money per card on the scam, and more people will buy them. It's like, what?
And that is a top tech tip from us, everyone.
But
Don't do that.
I mean, it was like those 1080s that popped up on eBay. Was it yesterday or Thursday?
Yeah, the 1080s that were what, 200? No, they were 100 quid each, weren't they?
They were 100 and something pound each.
To which you promptly took out your credit card and was just like, I'll take your entire stock.
Yeah.
So did you do that? You bought 10 of them. You bought all of them, didn't you?
I bought all that were listed at the time.
I'll rephrase that. You placed an order for 10 1080s at £100 a shot. Yeah. And very quickly the order bounced, didn't it?
Yeah, very quickly eBay sent me a message going, there is a problem with this order.
Yeah, it was the SSDs all over again. So,
absolutely. Yeah. Bloody Spud Nugget.
He was the one that found that as well, wasn't it? Yeah, Spud Nugget is determined to get us identity thefted or something. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Let's see.
It was just like I was super sad about that, just because initially when I saw it, and the fact that I saw that I was like buying their entire stock, I was like, oh, there is a chance this is legitimate. And then when I refreshed it and it sold and it said 11 sold of 98, I was just like, oh no, it's fake.
Yeah. Did they change the stock? Yeah. I haven't seen people doing that, changing the stock level. Although I
think it was just eBay actually refreshing what the stock level was, because when I bought it, it just said there are 10 available.
I wonder if they actually had a system set up to automatically restock. But if you show 10 available, that makes it look like they just have 10 of them and they are just selling surplus stock. Whereas if someone says, oh yeah, we've got apparently unlimited cards available, you're going to be like, where are you getting them from?
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, presumably, it was quite possible then, and maybe you actually broke the seller bot because perhaps they were banking on selling them in 1s and 2s and just continually topping up the number. And when you bought 10 of them, the bot overreacted and jumped up the number available
to 98.
Yeah, because that's the thing. eBay seller bots are very much a thing because this is an issue that Big Clive has all the time. When Big Clive does a video about something on eBay, if he links to the direct eBay auction, when people buy the thing, the bot that is selling that item starts spiking up the price to track the number being sold. So instead, he never links to the item. He links to a search for the item. So it will come up with whoever's bot is currently at the cheapest level. So it sounds like that was a seller bot and you broke it by buying the entire stock. When the idea is that someone would buy them in 1s and 2s thinking they're getting a cheap card. Whereas instead you were just like, let's try this because I'm a grown adult with a credit card that has buyer protection on it.
It's why the fact that, I've spent the amount of money I have through Amazon Italy.
Yes. Are you still trying to buy cards from Amazon Italy?
No.
Okay, yeah. Have you actually given up on the Italian ones now?
As far as I can tell, all of the graphics cards that show up on Amazon Spain and Italy are fake listings.
Yeah.
Literally every single one of them. Because
Yeah.
they're all listed by German companies.
I wonder if there are different selling rules or different consumer protection laws. Because again, this is the big question that you've been asking is, how is this scam working? Because you will get your money back every time. Okay.
There was a development on one of them.
Before you go into that story, let's just quickly give context to the people who don't know what we're talking about. So Caradog is aggressively trying to buy 3090s.
Well, literally any graphics card at close to MSRP.
Yeah, pretty much. And so every time one pops up on Amazon, Caradog will make an attempt. And he has placed many orders coincidentally that have been on Amazon Spain or Amazon Italy. And it has turned out to be a fake listing, to which, because it's Amazon, he immediately goes cancel order, and either the money gets refunded or the money is never taken off the card in the first place. But of course the question is, why would you scam on a shop that has such buyer protections in place? Because you'll never get the money out of the customer. So how does the scam work?
Yeah. And the best part was for a couple of them, I didn't even do anything. Amazon just cancelled them and refunded it. So
yeah, exactly that. So it's like, so what are they playing at then?
Yeah.
So what was the development?
So the development was on one of them. I got a message. Let me see if I can find the actual email. I got a message from the seller.
I remember you telling me this now. Continue.
Saying there has been an error with your order or something like that. And then basically going, please contact us directly so we can sell this to you at the same price.
Yeah, that was the game. Although that only happened one time. Or do you reckon maybe they just try and send as many messages as they can, and that's just the first time that they've actually, that your name actually came up as a mark per se?
Yeah, I don't know. I have so many Italian emails that I'm kind of going, I can't find it now. So many emails.
See, now I'm thinking, now I'm trying to think, have I got any Amazon gift vouchers through Amazon Associates? So you can partially pay for one of these using a gift voucher, get it refunded, thus converting the gift voucher into cash. But that's a very long-winded way of doing that. There's probably easier ways for me to convert those vouchers into cash. Although I don't think I have any for Italy or Spain anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. But Yes, I can't remember exactly what it was, but basically the order that the message basically says you need to contact us directly and
Yeah.
pay us directly, sort of thing. Ah, there we go. Ah, here it is. Uh, I love the Italian. Gentle client. Dear customer, we're sorry for the cancellation of your order. The money has been fully refunded to your account. You can check your account today or tomorrow at the latest. Interestingly, the money doesn't appear to have actually been refunded yet.
Oh,
And
interesting.
this was an email I got 7 days ago.
It's Amazon that need to although if Amazon has not yet if Amazon has not been notified that the order has not gone through, if
Yeah.
they have told Amazon that they have fulfilled it, then yeah.
Mm,
So you need to manually cancel the order or issue a chargeback.
yeah. Which
Yeah.
is just, kind of a thing. It says, yes, we're sorry and we'll be happy if you can give us the opportunity to renew your order. We have this item in stock that you are interested in buying at the same
Hmm.
price. For the inconvenience created, we will offer free home delivery. Details
Yeah.
about your order. If you wish to renew your order, please reply to this email.
Yeah.
Sincerely, MyGo Vegan GmbH.
Might go vegan. Vegan graphics cards.
Yeah,
That should have been
absolutely.
that should have been the title for this stream. That should have been the title
Vegan
of this.
graphics
Yeah.
cards.
Yep. 3090s
Uh,
confirmed vegan friendly.
yes, absolutely. Um, where's the other one? Oh yeah, and there are so many orders I've placed in various places for stuff. I'm just like I don't actually know what things and stuff are anymore. I'm
Yeah.
very lost on all of my orders.
You should probably make sure you're keeping track of this because you are spinning a lot of money in this game you're playing.
Oh yeah, it's like
Like,
£5,000.
yeah, I'm surprised it's I'm surprised it's that low, to be honest. I'm surprised you're not, although I suppose that the orders are getting cancelled as fast as you're placing them, so it keeps the actual money in limbo down to a certain value. But still, considering you are floating several £1,000s on this game, you should probably be keeping a closer eye on things.
Uh, it's the issue is because it's gone on several payment cards. It's which order links to which transaction on
Oh,
which
I
card.
see. Yeah.
That's what I mean by I'm not sure where this has ended up,
Yeah.
kind of thing. I'm aware of the status of every order, but it's like
Yeah.
I don't know which one
Yeah.
is which transaction. So I'll line that up at
Mm.
some point, work that out. And my other thing is, hold on, can I find an invoice or something for this one? Oh yeah, Gallux shop.
Galux shop. Fair
And
enough.
the other one, the shop was just called "Send me a WhatsApp," and then their mobile number. The shop was literally "Send me a WhatsApp," and then a mobile number, but in Spanish. Just
I get you 3080, bro.
yeah,
That sounds like a typical YouTube comment I get from someone saying, MacBook no work, WhatsApp me, here's my number kind of thing. And I'm like, why would I do that? You know,
yeah.
why
And it's just like,
yeah.
what? Okay. But yeah, there was a whole bunch of those. I was just like, what? Um. Oh wow, one of the orders was two of the orders have literally been deleted. Good lord. Okay,
Oh
Amazon.
man, when the order is deleted, you know a pack. That's like that's not just the order got cancelled. That's someone who went nuclear and was just like, nope, 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 nope. This does not exist. It never existed. It's kind of like, yeah, again, just the SSDs from eBay when I
Yeah.
ordered them, and just the order and the listing got deleted and do not exist anymore. And eBay were just like, everything is fine. I'm like, it's not because you deleted it all. You're clearly worried about something.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm just like, oh no. And I'm sad that Amazon seem to be they don't seem to be giving me an option of just cancel this order.
Uh,
I have to like send the seller a message and stuff like that. And I'm like,
I'd probably start that process out because, like, at this
oh
point,
no, I have.
okay, yeah,
I've gone through a message to cancel all of them.
yeah,
But I'm just like, what?
yeah,
Amazon, this is very quickly going to end up being your problem. I suggest you start doing stuff.
fair enough.
But yeah. I like this one. There was I don't know if you saw the picture. I screenshotted tracking information from Amazon where it said arriving by 8 p.m. today. Status not dispatched.
It, that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works.
Yeah,
Yeah, no.
exactly. But I was just like,
yeah,
Amazon, no.
no, don't like that. Something has gone terribly wrong there.
Yeah, but it's just going to be interesting seeing what comes out of this. Basically, I've had lots of Italian emails suddenly just turn up, and I'm just like, oh,
yeah. It's a fun game to play if you want to spin those plates. For me, like I've got my 3070. I'm out of this game now. I'm just like, nope.
oh, absolutely.
Yep. Yeah, I have redeemed my price, although I've got one more price to redeem with you, or rather an exchange, which we're aware of. But
I wish to exchange my prize.
yes, however, we made an agreement on this, so. But and just to add,
Pray I do not order it. Pray I do not amend it further.
yes, I would like. Yes, I don't like the 3070 that I bought from you. I want a different one. So.
Huh. Amazon have just sent me emails saying because these items have not been dispatched, the money has not been taken. So that's possibly good news.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Oh well. Following up on chat stuff, Knuckin Futs asking about things. What I would recommend is get on the Discord, because if you jump in the Discord, there'll be lots of helpful people out there that can help you go through suitable graphics cards. Obviously, where that's a Discord server rather than a live chat, it'll be a bit easier for people to focus on advising you on what graphics cards are good. For Fortnite, Fortnite runs on a potato, so you could buy more or less anything. However, again, not a good time to be buying graphics cards, so expect to pay over the odds for whatever you want.
There is a small possibility that all of my orders have no longer been charged. So we shall see.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
To Amazon Spain to cancel those orders.
Yeah. Let's see. Can you order from EVGA from over the pond? They've got a waiting list and they hold your position for 8 hours when they've got a card for you. That's very cool. Yeah. I don't know. Can we order directly from EVGA in this country?
Not that I've been able to. I looked. That was literally the first thing I looked.
Yeah.
I was just like, I want to buy from you. I want to do it. And they were just like, nah.
Yeah.
Or at least they certainly didn't. I wonder if that's actually a thing now. Oh yeah, the only thing they sell through their website in the UK is their B stock, where they have a GeForce 8600 GT, 8600 GT, as in an AGP graphics card.
I'm sure there's some mad lad overclockers out there that would have a ball with that thing.
Why are these still in stock?
Who knows?
There's like GT 730s here.
Odd.
Why are you in stock?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess they're just like, well, we're not going to use it for anything. We may as well sell it, and maybe some mad lad will buy it.
Yeah. Oh no, none of these are in stock. Wait, what? Ha!
Yeah.
Ha! Oh, EVJ themselves were selling a 980 Ti Kingpin for €220.
980 Ti Kingpin for 200. Wow. That's. Yeah, I don't know. 290 euros. That's the going rate for it because, like,
that's a really good price. That's very much pre all of this.
Yeah, But like on the flip side, though, like that card is only good for collectors, really. Because while the 980 is not a bad card, it's not exactly competitive.
Oh
So
no,
it would
absolutely.
only be valuable
Oh,
to someone
interesting.
who wants a kingpin just for pimp value. So
It
yeah.
appears you can possibly buy the from EVGA in Europe somewhere. So maybe. I'll stick an auto notify on one of these.
Yeah. Oh, the EVGA waiting lists are forever long. People from the beginning are still waiting for emails. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I
However,
suppose so. I mean, although at least it's nice to be on a list then. So just even if you're waiting for a couple of months, at least even if you're waiting a couple of months, at least you can just sit there and wait and be like, I'm on a list. Someone will let me know when it's my turn.
I think that's the thing that's kind of, in a sense, the saddest to me.
What, having
Is
to wait in line to buy something?
no, is the fact of I can't.
Yeah. Yeah, because because that's the thing. Like, I'd have done that when I decided I wanted a new graphics card. If I could have just signed up to a list and it would say, you're going to be on this list for 4 months, 6 months, but
Yeah.
in 6 months we will sell you a graphics card at MSRP, or
Yeah.
plus whatever, at a reasonable price. I'd
Yeah.
have been like, yeah, sure. You know what? I'll sit on my 1070 for another 6 months, knowing that my turn is going to come around.
It's EVGA Germany because
Uh-huh.
it's a plus 49 number that they've given me.
Okay, there you go. So yeah,
It's
yeah.
EVGA
Ordering stuff from
Germany.
Germany is not the end of the world, though. That's completely doable. That's fairly accessible in Europe, in Europe as a whole, isn't it?
As
Which
long
includes the
as they'll
UK,
fit.
kind of. So yeah.
As long as they'll actually ship here. But yeah. But yes. And then obviously 700-watt BIOSes.
700-watt BIOS. Good grief. Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Fair enough. I need to get into graphics card BIOS flashing because I'm really interested in BIOS flashing at the moment. And yeah, I want to get into graphics card BIOS flashing. So yeah, that's the thing.
Sapphire Nitro Plus RX 6700.
Yeah.
£780.
£780. No.
For something that's basically the same speed as the 3060.
Yeah. No. No.
Oh,
Yeah. It's no bueno.
horrifying.
Yeah. No good indeed.
But yeah, it's was the ones that seem to be the best price in the UK when they show up are the Curry's ones.
Yeah, Currys are
But they
pretty
only
good
seem
at.
to show up at like 3 minutes past 2 in the morning, 7 minutes past 3 in the morning, and
Yeah.
then like 6 a.m. You're like,
Who does this actually benefit? The only thing this benefits are the bots because they're the only people awake at that time.
yeah,
But yeah, I don't know. However, kudos to Currys. Their prices are actually always reasonable. Like I
yeah.
bought a couple of Ryzen's 5600s from Currys because they were holding reasonable prices. So
Yeah, they were selling at MSRP for ages.
yeah.
They just seem to have really bad supply comparatively.
Yeah. But yes. Right. I think it's time to wrap up because we've been going for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And
I'm really miffed about that scan drop.
oh, what happened?
Friday. Just the fact that I couldn't load any of the pages.
What was on sale?
Cloudflare blocked me.
Yeah, I know you got screwed by Cloudflare. What was on sale again? Was it 3080s?
3060 Ti's, 3070s, 3080s, and 3090s.
Oh, everything, yeah.
Everything good.
Dropped
all
at
the
the same
Founders
time.
editions at MSRP.
Yeah.
Not at the same time, like 15 minutes apart.
Yeah.
But I couldn't get any of them to load.
Yeah. That's still too close together. Yeah. They should have known that that would just crash the site. You have to trickle them out.
Yeah. And it was the fact that I was blocked on 3 different IP addresses as well.
Yeah.
So it was clearly the fact of the website had just failed, and they
Yeah.
were just hard blocking everything at Cloudflare. And I'm like,
Yeah. That's the
I'm
thing. Nothing
I
like this is.
managed to get a 3090 into my basket,
Yeah.
and then the website just shat itself.
Yeah.
And I'm like, sadness.
Yeah.
I would, yeah, it's very much a case of I want Founders ones.
The Founders ones are the nicest, but they are also going to be the least, the ones with least available as well.
They are, yes, them,
Unobtainium.
the Strix, and the FTW3s and FTW3 Ultras.
Mm.
But I haven't seen any Strix selling for less than like £2,700.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no.
Yeah, because all the mad lads are trying to buy those because those are the ones that are actually going to be good clockers. So yeah. Oh well.
Yeah.
But yes, past that, I'm going to wrap it up today because I'm
Absolutely.
crashing something chronic right now. I'm crashing hardcore. So
Yeah.
And we're kind of sort of into the land of just sort of, we're kind of just grumbling about graphics card stock at the moment, I think. So yeah. So we're going to get out of here. Yeah, also, don't forget, again, if you want to talk graphics cards and stuff like that, continue the conversation on the Discord. There's the link again for those of you who missed it previously. But yeah, jump on our Discord and you can discuss graphics cards and which ones to buy further. And it's a bit easier there than in a live stream chat. Past that, yeah, I think that's everything. So we will be back next week with more chat. I will be streaming tomorrow night on my Twitch channel, which I shall link in again, twitch.tv/nethsm. I'll be streaming some more Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Let me see. Graham taking PCB kit suppliers when? Well, kit suppliers, what, as in like make your own PCBs or just doing more things? Because I want to do some more kit builds because I've got a nice kit build here. I've got a clock thing to build. I just don't know when to do it. So I need to do that at some point. I don't know when. So yeah, we'll see. Otherwise, yeah, suggestions in the Discord, but that'll do. Yeah.
That'll do, Pig. That'll do.
All right. Goodbye, everyone. See you all soon. See you next week. Bye.